The legislature's Government Oversight Committee has ruled the Maine Department of Health and Human Services was not unsound in its decisions regarding a Stockton Springs 3-year-old killed by his mother in 2021. Jessica Trefethen was found guilty of the depraved indifference murder of Maddox Williams and will spend 47 years in prison. The review found legal, practice, and staffing issues in the Office of Child and Family Services, including an error in not interviewing the father of Trefethen's oldest child. OPEGA called that a missed opportunity to learn more about family functioning. In February, OPEGA cleared DHHS of any wrongdoing in the case of a 3-year-old Old Town girl who died from exposure to fentanyl in June 2021. Reports on other 2021 infant deaths in Brewer and Milo have yet to be issued.